The security footage was grainy, but clear enough to make William's blood run cold. On the monitor in front of him, a figure moved through the palace corridor at 2:47 in the morning. A woman in staff uniform. Her movements were slow, deliberate. She stopped outside Kate's private study. For 17 seconds, she just stood there. Then she turned and walked away. When was this? William's voice was steady, but his jaw was tight. 3 nights ago, sir, the head of security answered. Marcus had worked at Kensington Palace for 12 years. He'd never called an emergency meeting like this before. We only flagged it this morning during routine review. William leaned closer to the screen. The woman's face was partially visible. He didn't recognize her. But something about the way she moved, the way she paused at that particular door, sent a chill down his spine. Who is she? Marcus pulled up another file. Her name is Alina Marsh. She's been with the housekeeping staff for 8 months. Background check came back clean. References were solid. She was hired through the standard protocol. We've been reviewing more footage since we found this, Marcus said. He clicked to another video. This is from 2 weeks ago. The same woman. This time in the East Wing, near the children's playroom. It was late evening. She was carrying cleaning supplies, but she wasn't cleaning. She was watching. Her head turned toward the camera, and for just a moment, her expression was visible. It wasn't the face of someone doing their job. It was focused, calculating. William felt his chest tighten. Where is Kate right now? She's at the charity event in Mayfair. She has 4 protection officers with her. She's safe. But William was already reaching for his phone. He needed to hear her voice. He needed to know she was okay. Before he could dial, Marcus spoke again. There's more, sir. The third video was the worst. Alina Marsh standing in the corridor outside Kate's bedroom. She wasn't moving. She was just standing there, in the shadows, at 3:15 in the morning. Staring at the door, how long was she there? 42 minutes. The room went silent. William stared at the screen, his mind racing. 42 minutes. Standing outside his wife's bedroom? In the middle of the night? Where is she now? William's voice was low, dangerous. We don't know. She didn't show up for a shift this morning. We sent officers to her listed address. The apartment was empty. Cleared out. Like she was never there. William stood. His hands were shaking, but not from fear. From rage. Someone had been inside his home. Watching his wife. Watching his children. And they had no idea who she really was or what she wanted. I want every piece of footage reviewed. Every hallway. Every room. I want to know everywhere she's been and everything she's touched. And I want to know who hired her and who gave her references. Marcus nodded. We're already on it, sir. William looked back at the screen. At the woman who had stood outside Kate's door for 42 minutes. A stranger in their home. A threat they hadn't seen coming, and now she was gone. If you want to hear what happens next, make sure you're subscribed. This story is just beginning, and the truth is far more disturbing than anyone expected. William's phone buzzed. A text from Kate. On my way home. Everything okay? He stared at the message. His thumb hovered over the keyboard. How could he tell her? How could he explain that for 8 months someone had been watching her, studying her, waiting? He typed back. We need to talk. Come straight to the security office when you get home. Marcus was already pulling up more files. Dozens of them. Every moment Alina Marsh had been captured on camera. Every corner of the palace she'd accessed. Every time she'd been near Kate, and then Marcus stopped. His face went pale. Ow, sir. You need to see this. Asterisk Marcus turned the monitor toward William. The footage was from 6 weeks ago. Early morning, just after dawn. Alina Marsh was in the palace kitchen, alone. She wasn't cleaning. She was standing at the counter where Kate's breakfast was prepared every morning. In her hand was a small glass vial. William's heart stopped. Tell me that's not what I think it is. We don't know yet. We've sent the footage to the intelligence team. But, sir? Marcus paused. She put something in the teapot. The one Kate uses. The world seemed to tilt. William gripped the edge of the desk. His mind flashed to that morning. Kate had complained of feeling dizzy. She'd barely touched her breakfast. They'd assumed she was just tired, stressed from the constant schedule. Did Kate drink from that pot? According to the kitchen logs, yes. That was the morning of March 15th. Do you remember if she was sick that day? William's voice was hollow. She canceled 2 appearances. We thought it was just exhaustion. Marcus's expression darkened. Sir, there are 4 other instances where Alina was alone in the kitchen before Kate's meals were prepared. We're cross-referencing with any days Kate felt unwell. The door opened. One of the junior officers entered, holding a tablet. Sir, we found something in the apartment. I thought you said it was cleared out. It was... But we pulled up the floorboards. She left something behind. The officer placed the tablet on the desk. On the screen was a photograph of a small box hidden beneath the floor. Inside were dozens of photos. All of them were of Kate. Kate at the school gates. Kate shopping. Kate at private family moments that should never have been photographed. Some of the images were taken from inside the palace. Close-ups. Intimate moments. Kate reading to the children. Kate asleep on the sofa. Kate in her dressing gown, unaware she was being watched. William felt sick. How long has this been going on? Based on the timestamps, at least 18 months. Long before she was hired here? 18 months. Alina Marsh had been stalking his wife for a year and a half, and somehow she'd managed to get hired into their home, into the one place Kate should have been safest. There's more. The officer swiped to the next image. It was a handwritten note. The handwriting was neat, careful, almost childlike. She doesn't deserve him. She doesn't deserve any of it. I would have been better. I would have been perfect. William's hands curled into fists. This wasn't just surveillance. This was obsession, she thinks, ... William couldn't finish the sentence. The words were too disturbing. She's fixated on you, sir, Marcus said quietly. And she blames Kate. Another officer entered. Sir, Kate's car just entered the grounds. William's head snapped up. She can't come here. Not yet. We don't know if Alina is still nearby. We don't know if she's alone. We have the perimeter secured. Every entrance is monitored. If she tries to come back, you don't understand. William's voice was sharp. This woman has been inside our home for 8 months. She knows every hallway, every blind spot, every security rotation. She knows when Kate is alone. The room went quiet. The weight of that truth settled over everyone. Marcus spoke first. We'll increase Kate's protection detail immediately. No one gets near her without full clearance. We'll revet every staff member. And we'll coordinate with MI5. If Alina Marsh is out there, we'll find her. But William wasn't listening. He was staring at the photos on the screen, at the face of his wife, captured in moments she thought were private. Moments stolen by someone who had been living among them, invisible, trusted. He thought of his children, of the playroom where Alina had stood watching, of the mornings they'd all sat together at breakfast, unaware that someone in the room was dangerous. I want her found, William said. His voice was ice. I don't care what it takes. I want her found before she comes near Kate again. The door opened. Kate stepped inside, still in her coat, her expression confused. William, what's going on? Why did you ask me to come here? He turned to face her. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. How could he tell her that someone had been poisoning her? That someone had been photographing her while she slept? She looked at the screen behind him. At the photos, her face went pale. Is that ... me? William crossed the room and took her hands. Kate, we need to talk. Her eyes filled with fear. Who took those pictures? Someone who's been working here. Someone we trusted. He kept his voice calm, even though everything inside him was screaming. But she's gone now. And we're going to make sure she never comes near you again. Kate pulled her hands away. She stepped toward the screen, staring at the images. At her own face, captured without her knowledge. How long? 18 months. She turned back to him. Tears were forming in her eyes, but her voice was steady. Was she in our home? William nodded. Kate sat down slowly. Her hands were trembling. The children? Has she been near the children? We're reviewing everything. Guess. She had access to the entire palace. Kate closed her eyes. When she opened them again, something had changed. The fear was still there, but beneath it was something harder. Anger. Find her, Kate said. I don't care how. Find her. The emergency briefing room was full within 20 minutes. Palace security, wool officers, medical consultants. Everyone who needed to know. Kate sat beside William, her face composed but her hands clenched in her lap. She'd insisted on staying for the briefing. She needed to hear everything. The lead investigator from MI5, a woman named Sarah Chen, stood at the front of the room. Behind her was a projection of Alina Marsh's face. The ID badge photo from her palace employment file. Alina Marsh, Sarah began. Age 32. No criminal record. She applied for the housekeeping position 8 months ago using a fabricated identity. The real Alina Marsh died in a car accident 4 years ago in Manchester. Our suspects stole her identity. Kate's breath caught. So we don't know who she really is? Not yet. But we're running facial recognition through every database we have access to. We'll find her real name. Sarah clicked to the next slide. It was a timeline. Dates and locations stretching back nearly 2 years. These are confirmed sightings of the suspect before she was hired at the palace. A coffee shop near Kate's usual gym. The parking lot at Prince George's school. Outside a restaurant where Kate had lunch with friends. She's been following Kate for at least 18 months, possibly longer. William felt Kate stiffen beside him. He reached for her hand. She didn't pull away this time. The items found in her apartment suggest obsessive fixation, Sarah continued. The photos, the notes, the detailed logs of Kate's daily routine. This isn't random. This is someone who believes she has a personal connection to the family, specifically to Prince William. Kate's voice was quiet. What kind of connection? Sarah hesitated. In cases like this, the subject often believes they're meant to be with the person they're fixated on. They create an entire narrative in their mind, a fantasy where they belong together, and anyone standing in the way of that fantasy becomes a threat. I'm the threat, Kate said. It wasn't a question. Yes. The room was silent. William felt a rage building in his chest that he'd never experienced before. Someone had targeted his wife, had poisoned her, had watched her sleep, and all because of some sick delusion. What about the substance in the vial? William asked. Do we know what she was putting in Kate's tea? A medical consultant spoke up. We're still running tests, but initial analysis suggests a mild sedative. Not enough to cause serious harm, but enough to cause dizziness, fatigue, nausea. She may have been testing dosages. Kate's face went white. Testing dosages for what? The consultant didn't answer. He didn't need to. Everyone in the room understood the implication. Alina had been practicing, building up to something worse. We believe she was waiting for an opportunity, Sarah said. A moment when Kate would be vulnerable. Alone. We found evidence in her apartment that suggests she was planning something for the upcoming royal tour. The tour to Scotland, William said. He felt cold. Next month. There's a day in the itinerary where Kate is scheduled to visit a rural hospital. Smaller venue, less security. We found a map of the location in Elena's apartment. She'd marked the entrance points, the exits, the security positions. Kate stood up abruptly. I need some air. William started to follow, but she held up a hand. Just give me a minute, please. She walked to the corner of the room, her back to everyone. William watched her shoulders rise and fall as she took slow breaths. She was trying to hold it together, trying to be strong. But he could see the tremor in her hands. Sarah continued speaking, but William barely heard her. His focus was on Kate, on the woman who'd been carrying this fear alone for the past hour while they dissected every detail of the threat against her. After a moment, Kate turned back. Her eyes were red, but her voice was steady. What's the plan to find her? We've issued an alert to every law enforcement agency in the country, Sarah said. Her photo is being circulated. We're monitoring transport hubs, hotels, known associates. We've also flagged her fabricated identity in case she tries to use it again. But right now you don't know where she is. No, we don't. Kate nodded slowly. Then what do we do? Do we hide? Do we cancel everything and wait for her to be caught? We increase your security, Marcus said. We change your patterns, your routes, your schedule. We make it impossible for her to predict where you'll be. And we wait. Kate's voice was bitter. We just wait for her to make a mistake. William stood and crossed to her. Kate, I'm not angry at you, she said quietly. I'm angry at her. I'm angry that someone I've never met has been watching me, poisoning me, planning God knows what. And I'm angry that I didn't see it, that none of us did. You couldn't have known, couldn't I? Kate's eyes were fierce now. She was in our home, William. She served us breakfast. She cleaned our children's rooms. And I smiled at her. I probably thanked her for her work. I treated her like she was one of the staff, like she belonged there. And the whole time, she was planning to hurt me. The room had gone completely silent. Everyone was watching them. Kate turned to face the group. I want every piece of security footage reviewed. I want to know every word she spoke, every person she interacted with, every moment she was in that palace. If there's anything we missed, I want to know about it. Sarah nodded. We're already doing that. Good. Kate's voice was cold. Because when you find her, I want to know why. I want to understand what made her think she could do this. That she could come into my home and threaten my family. William had never heard Kate sound like this before. There was steel in her voice. A determination that came from somewhere deep and protective. We'll find her, Sarah promised. It's only a matter of time. But as William looked at the projection of Alina's face, he wondered how much time they had. And what Alina was planning in the hours they couldn't account for? Because people like Alina didn't just give up. They didn't just walk away. They waited for the perfect moment. And then they struck. 3 days passed. 3 days of heightened security, altered schedules, and constant vigilance. Kate barely left the palace. When she did, she was surrounded by protection officers. Every face in every crowd was a potential threat. William barely slept. Every sound in the night made him reach for his phone. Every notification could be the one telling him Alina had been found. Or worse, that she'd struck again. On the 4th morning, Kate came downstairs to find William in the security office again. He'd been there most of the night, reviewing footage with Marcus and the team. You need to rest, she said from the doorway. William looked up. His eyes were bloodshot. So do you. She didn't argue. They both knew rest was impossible right now. How could they sleep when someone who wanted to hurt Kate was still out there? Kate stepped into the room. Have you found anything new? Marcus answered. We've identified several people she had contact with while working here. Other staff members? We're interviewing all of them. So far, no one suspected anything unusual about her. She was good at hiding, Kate said quietly. That's what makes this so frightening. She could be anyone, anywhere. William's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen, and his expression changed. It's Sarah. She's on her way here now. She says they have a lead. 20 minutes later, Sarah Chen was back in the briefing room. This time, she had a laptop and a file folder thick with documents. We found her real identity, Sarah said without preamble. Her name is Rachel Winters. Age 33. She's from a small town in Yorkshire. No criminal record, but we found medical records. She was institutionalized twice in her 20s for delusional disorder and obsessive behavior. William leaned forward. What kind of obsessive behavior? She became fixated on a local businessman. Convinced herself they were meant to be together. She broke into his home multiple times. Left gifts. Sent hundreds of messages. When he got engaged to someone else, Rachel tried to attack his fiancée with a knife in a parking lot. Kate's hand went to her throat. What happened? The fiancé fought her off. Rachel was arrested and committed to a psychiatric facility. She spent 18 months there. When she was released, she disappeared. That was 7 years ago. Until now, no one knew where she'd gone. Sarah pulled up a photo on her laptop. It was Rachel Winters before she became Alina Marsh. Younger, with different hair, but the eyes were the same. That focused, calculating stare. After her release, she changed her appearance and started using false identities. Sarah continued, "We believe she's done this before. We're looking into unsolved stalking cases across the country. But this is the most elaborate plan she's executed, because this time her target is famous," William said. "This time, she can't just walk up to Kate on the street." "Exactly. So she found another way in. She studied the palace hiring process. She created a convincing false identity. She got references from people who don't exist, and she waited. For 8 months, she played the role perfectly. Until she was ready to act, Kate's voice was barely a whisper. The Scotland trip. She was going to do it in Scotland. We believe so. But now that we know who she really is, we have more to work with. We're tracking her known associates, her family members, places she's lived before. We're getting closer." "But she knows you're looking for her now," William said. "She knows we found the apartment. She knows her plan fell apart. What does someone like her do when their plan fails?" Sarah's expression darkened. "That's what concerns us. When people with Rachel's disorder face a disruption to their fantasy, they can become desperate, unpredictable, sometimes violent. You think she'll try something reckless. You think she won't give up. In her mind, she's not doing anything wrong. She believes she belongs with you, William. She believes Kate is the problem, and removing Kate is the solution." The words hung in the air like a death sentence. William stood abruptly. "Then we end this. Now, we cancel the Scotland trip. We cancel everything. Kate doesn't go anywhere until Rachel is in custody." William, Kate started. "No," his voice was firm. "I'm not letting you become a target. I'm not giving her any opportunity to get near you." "You can't put my life on hold indefinitely," Kate said. "We don't know how long it will take to find her. It could be weeks, months, I don't care. Your safety matters more than any engagement." Kate stood to face him. "And what message does that send? That we're afraid? That she wins?" "She doesn't win if you're alive." The room fell silent. Sarah and Marcus exchanged glances. This was a private argument playing out in front of them, but neither could leave. Kate's voice softened. "I understand you're frightened. I am too. But we can't let her control our lives. That's exactly what she wants. To isolate me, to make me disappear, she wants to kill you, Kate. Maybe, but she hasn't succeeded, and she won't, because we're smarter than her. We know who she is now. We know what she wants, and we're not going to give it to her." William shook his head. "You're not thinking clearly. I'm thinking perfectly clearly. You're the one who's too close to this to see it." Kate turned to Sarah. "What do you recommend?" Sarah hesitated. "Professionally, I agree with Prince William. Reducing your public exposure reduces risk. But Kate is right too. Completely withdrawing sends a signal, and it doesn't guarantee safety. Rachel could still find a way, so what do we do?" William asked. His voice was strained. "We adapt," Sarah said. "We continue with some engagements, but we modify them. Smaller venues, controlled environments, heavier security. We make Kate visible enough that Rachel doesn't escalate, but protected enough that she can't act." "A trap," Kate said. "You want to use me as bait? Not exactly. But if Rachel believes she still has an opportunity, she might reveal herself. She might make a mistake. And when she does, we'll be ready." William looked at Kate, at the woman he'd promised to protect. The woman who was now being asked to put herself in danger to catch someone who wanted her dead. "I don't like this," he said. "Neither do I," Kate replied. "But I trust Sarah and Marcus. I trust our security team. And I trust that we're going to end this." William wanted to argue. He wanted to lock Kate away somewhere safe and refused to let her out until Rachel was caught. But he knew Kate. He knew that look in her eyes. She'd already made her decision. "If we do this," William said, turning to Sarah, "I want every precaution. I want fail-safes for the fail-safes. I want her protected like she's never been protected before. You have my word, Sarah said. But as William looked at the photo of Rachel Winters on the screen, couldn't shake the feeling that they were making a terrible mistake. Because people like Rachel didn't make mistakes. They made statements. The charity event was small, intimate, only 50 guests at a private gallery in Chelsea. Kate had insisted on attending. It was a cause she'd supported for years. And canceling would have raised too. Many questions, but nothing about the evening felt normal. 4 protection officers surrounded Kate at all times. 2 more monitored the entrance. Plainclothes security circulated among the guests. Every person who entered had been vetted and searched. The building had been swept 3 times. William stayed close to Kate's side. He smiled when he was supposed to smile. He shook hands and made small talk. But his eyes never stopped moving. Scanning faces. Watching doors. Looking for any sign of Rachel. Kate was better at hiding it. She laughed with donors. She admired the artwork. To anyone watching, she seemed perfectly at ease. But William could see the tension in her shoulders. The way her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. She's not here, Kate whispered to him during a quiet moment. You can relax. I won't relax until she's in custody. Kate squeezed his hand. I know. An hour into the event, Sarah Chen appeared at William's elbow. She was dressed formally, blending in with the guests, but her expression was urgent. We need to talk. Privately. William followed her to a corner of the gallery. Kate noticed and started to follow, but William shook his head. He didn't want her to hear whatever Sarah was about to say. Not here, not in front of all these people. What is it? William asked. We've located Rachel, or at least we think we have. There was a credit card transaction 30 minutes ago. A train ticket from London to Edinburgh. William's blood went cold. Edinburgh. That's near the Scotland location she'd been planning. Yes, she's heading there now. Then we end this. We send officers to meet the train. We arrest her. I've already dispatched a team. But William, there's something else. The credit card she used was registered to a different false identity. One we hadn't found yet, which means she might have others. And if she realizes we're on to her, she could disappear again.
Ow.
So what are you saying? I'm saying we need to be careful. If we spook her, we might lose our chance. William looked back at Kate. She was talking to an elderly woman, a donor who'd been with the charity since its founding. She looked so normal, so safe. But she wasn't, not while Rachel was out there. I want Kate out of here, William said. Now, we've already increased security for the exit. We'll get her home safely. William returned to Kate's side. He leaned close and whispered, We're leaving. Kate didn't argue. She said her goodbyes gracefully, apologizing for the early departure. Within 5 minutes, they were in the car. Surrounded by a convoy of security vehicles, Kate waited until they were moving before she spoke. They found her, didn't they? They found a lead. She bought a train ticket to Scotland. Kate's face paled. So she's still planning it. Even after everything. They're going to stop her before she gets there. It's over, Kate. It's finally over. But even as he said it, William didn't quite believe it. Something felt wrong. Why would Rachel use a credit card if she'd been so careful to stay hidden? Why would she make herself so easy to track? Unless she wanted to be tracked, the thought hit him like a punch to the chest. Stop the car. The driver glanced in the rearview mirror. Sir, stop the car now.
Ah!
The convoy came to a halt. William grabbed his phone and called Sarah. She answered immediately. The train ticket, William said. It's too convenient. She's been careful for 18 months. She doesn't make mistakes like that. Then Sarah's voice, tight with realization. You think it's a diversion? I think she wants us looking in Scotland while she's somewhere else. Somewhere closer. Where are you right now? Kensington Road. About 2 minutes from the palace. Get Kate inside. Lock down the entire building. I'm sending additional units to your location. William ended the call. He looked at Kate. Her eyes were wide with fear. She's not in Scotland, is she? Kate asked. No, I don't think she is. The convoy started moving again, faster this time. William kept his eyes on the windows, on the streets around them, looking for anything unusual, any sign of Rachel. They were 1 minute from the palace when William saw it. A woman standing on the corner, dark coat, hood pulled up. She was holding something in her hands. A phone, maybe? Or something smaller. Their eyes met for just a second, and William knew it was Rachel. That's her. William shouted, "Stop the car." But the convoy didn't stop. They were trained to keep moving, to get Kate to safety above all else. The security protocols were clear. William turned in his seat. Watching through the rear window as Rachel stood motionless on the corner, she was watching them too. Watching Kate, and she was smiling. Then she turned and disappeared into the crowd. "We have to go back," William said. "She's right there." "Sir, our priority is getting the princess to safety," the lead protection officer said. "We've radioed her location. Officers are responding." But William knew it was too late. By the time they circled back, Rachel would be gone. She'd planned this. The train ticket was meant to draw their attention away, to make them think they had time, to make them drop their guard just enough. And it had worked. The convoy pulled through the palace gates. They were locked down immediately. Kate was rushed inside, surrounded by officers. William followed, his mind racing. Rachel had been right there, close enough to touch, and they'd driven past her. His phone rang. It was Sarah. "Did you get her?" William demanded. "We're searching the area now." "But William, we found something. In the spot where you saw her standing, she left a note." "What does it say?" Sarah's voice was grim. "It says, 'Soon.'" William felt his legs go weak. He leaned against the wall, trying to process what that meant. Rachel wasn't running. She wasn't hiding. She was still hunting, and now she'd proven that she could get close. That despite all their security, all their precautions, she could stand on a corner and watch them drive by. Kate appeared in the hallway. Her face was ashen. Did they catch her? William shook his head. He crossed to her and pulled her into his arms. "But they will. I promise you they will." Kate didn't cry. She just held on to him, her body trembling. "I saw her too," she whispered. "When we drove past, I saw her looking at me." And William, the expression on her face. She wasn't angry. She wasn't scared. She was happy. Like this was all part of some game she's winning. William held her tighter, because Kate was right. To Rachel, this was a game. A twisted game where the prize was William, and the obstacle was Kate. And Rachel had just proven she was willing to play it all the way to the end. Somewhere in London, Rachel Winters was smiling. She'd seen the fear in their eyes. She'd watched them run. And now she knew exactly how close she could get. The hunt wasn't over. It was just beginning. The palace was on full lockdown. Every entrance guarded. Every window monitored. Kate hadn't left the building in 4 days. The children had been moved to a secure location with their nanny and a full protection detail. The staff had been reduced to only essential personnel, all of whom had been revetted and searched daily. William barely recognized his own home anymore. It felt like a fortress. Or a prison. Kate sat in the drawing room, staring out at the gardens. She'd stopped pretending to read or work. She just sat, waiting. They were all waiting. "Can't live like this," she said quietly. William looked up from his laptop. He'd been reading security reports for hours. Every sighting. Every possible lead. So far, nothing had panned out. Rachel had vanished again after leaving that note. "I know. The children are asking when they can come home. I don't know what to tell them. We tell them soon. As soon as it's safe." Kate turned to face him. "When will it be safe, William? How long are we supposed to hide from her?" "As long as it takes." "That's not an answer." Kate's voice was rising. "We can't live in fear forever. We can't keep running. At some point, we have to face this." Before William could respond, Marcus entered the room. His expression was tense. "Sir, we have a situation." William was on his feet immediately. "What is it?" "A package was delivered to the palace gates 20 minutes ago. It's addressed to Kate. Kate stood slowly. Who delivered it? A courier service. They said it was dropped off at their office by a woman matching Rachel's description. We've detained the courier for questioning, but they claim they never saw the woman's face. She wore a mask and sunglasses. Paid in cash? Where's the package now? William asked. Bomb disposal is examining it. But sir, they've already confirmed there's no explosive device inside. It's something else. What? Marcus handed William a tablet. On the screen was an X-ray image of the package contents. Box. And inside the box, a small object. It's a ring, Marcus said. An engagement ring. Kate's hand went to her mouth. Oh my God. There's a note attached, Marcus continued. It says, "This should have been mine. You stole it. You stole everything." The room went silent. William stared at the image, his mind trying to process what this meant. Rachel had sent Kate an engagement ring, a symbol of the life Rachel believed she should have had. She's escalating, William said. This isn't just obsession anymore. This is a direct threat. Sarah Chen arrived within the hour. She examined the package, now cleared by bomb disposal and sealed in evidence bags. The ring was expensive, antique, the kind of ring someone might have spent months choosing. The note was handwritten in the same neat script they'd seen before. She's making her intentions clear, Sarah said. She sees Kate as someone who stole William from her. In her mind, if Kate didn't exist, she would be in Kate's place. This ring is her way of saying she's already planned that future. So what does she want? Kate asked. Her voice was steady, but her hands were shaking. Does she want me to just disappear? To die? What would satisfy her? Nothing, Sarah said gently. People with her condition can't be satisfied, because the fantasy in their mind can never match reality. Even if Kate wasn't here, Rachel's delusion would find another obstacle, another reason why she can't have what she wants. This isn't about you, Kate. Not really. It's about Rachel's broken perception of the world. It doesn't make me feel any safer. I know, but it does tell us something. Rachel is getting desperate. Sending this package was a risk, and desperation leads to mistakes, or to violence, William said. Sarah didn't disagree. We need to draw her out. Make her act before she's ready. Absolutely not, William said immediately. We're not using Kate as bait. We don't have a choice. Every day Rachel is out there, the danger increases. She's proven she can get close to the palace. She's proven she knows your movements. If we wait for her to strike on her terms, it could be catastrophic. Then what do you suggest? Sarah pulled out a file. Kate has an engagement scheduled for next week. A hospital visit. Small venue. We cancel the public announcement. We make it appear that Kate is making a private, unscheduled visit. We leak the information through channels we know Rachel has been monitoring. You want her to think she has an opportunity, Kate said. Yes, but the entire location will be secured. Every person vetted. Every exit covered. If Rachel shows up, we'll be ready. William shook his head. This is insane. You're asking Kate to walk into a trap. I'm asking Kate to help us end this, Sarah said. Because the alternative is living like this for months, maybe years. Rachel won't stop. She'll wait as long as she needs to. But if we give her what she thinks is an opening, she'll take it, and we'll have her. Kate was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke. I'll do it, Kate. I'll do it, she repeated, looking at William. Because Sarah is right. We can't live like this. The children can't live like this. If there's a chance to end this, we have to take it. And if something goes wrong, then you'll be there to stop it. You and every security officer we have. I trust you, William, and I trust that we can do this. William wanted to argue. He wanted to refuse to let her take this risk. But he looked at Kate's face, at the determination there, and he knew she'd already made her decision. Fine, he said, but I'm coming with you. And if anything feels wrong, if there's even a hint of danger, we pull you out immediately. Agreed. Sarah nodded. We have 1 week to prepare. We'll make this as safe as humanly possible. The week passed in a blur of planning. Security briefings. Route analysis. Contingency plans for every possible scenario. William barely slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Rachel's face. That smile as she watched them drive past. The night before the hospital visit, Kate found William in the study. He was reviewing the security plans for the 100th time. "Come to bed," she said. "In a minute." "William." She crossed the room and took the papers from his hands. "It's going to be okay. You don't know that." "No, but I know that we've done everything we can, and I know that tomorrow this ends." One way or another, William pulled her close. "I can't lose you. You won't, 'cause I'm coming home. And then we're going to have a very long conversation about taking a vacation somewhere very far away from here." He managed a small smile. "Deal." They held each other in the quiet of the study. Outside, security teams patrolled the grounds. Inside, the palace was silent. Tomorrow would bring answers. Tomorrow would bring an end to this nightmare. But as William held Kate, he couldn't shake the feeling that Rachel was out there somewhere, planning her own ending to this story, and he prayed that when tomorrow came, they would be the ones still standing. The hospital visit was scheduled for 10 in the morning. Kate dressed in a simple blue dress. Professional. Calm. She looked at herself in the mirror and took a deep breath. "Ready?" William asked from the doorway. Kate turned and smiled. "Ready?" They walked to the car together, surrounded by protection officers. The convoy was larger than usual. To lead vehicles, to follow vehicles, and a backup team in unmarked cars nearby as they pulled away from the palace. Kate looked out the window at London passing by. Somewhere in this city, Rachel was waiting, watching, planning. Kate reached for William's hand. He squeezed it tight. Soon, Kate whispered. The same word from Rachel's note, but this time it was Kate's promise. Soon, it would be over, and Rachel Winters would finally face justice. The question was, would they all survive to see it? As the convoy approached the hospital, none of them noticed the woman in the maintenance uniform standing near the service entrance, her face partially hidden by a cap, watching the cars arrive. Rachel had been waiting for this moment, and now, finally, her plan was about to unfold.